everybody, and welcome to Darvanalee Design Studio. How is everybody this morning? We're here for our Saturday morning catch-up. I am just trying to get all of my things in place, like my phone plugged in, and so it doesn't go flat. So we are going to be doing some more stitches in on the Birdsville Cushion. And yeah, so hopefully we'll get some stitches done today. And yes, there it is there. I'm sure I brought a hoop with me this morning, but yes, it's in the box just there. So how is everybody this morning? As you know, last week we got the final bits and pieces stitched down. So we have now, where are we? There we go. Let me just bring this over just a touch more, and then that way you can see what's going on a bit. Okay, so we have all the leaves on, all the birds, all things, and we even have our little peacock down as well. So all the things are down. So today what I'm going to do is we're going to do some of the fancy work. So you can see here that we've got some long stitches and short stitches, making crosses. We've got some French knots. On our leaves, we have a fly stitch. So we've got to do that. And I've got all the things in the container, where is my stool? If you can hear banging in the background, like light banging in the background, I've got two little kittens here that have the zoomies at the moment. They were sleeping peaceful until I started fluffing around in here. So you can see we've got all the different things that have got to go onto this. So I thought today we might start with some of the flowers. That's probably going to be the easiest thing to do. So we're going to start with some of the flowers. I'm not going to worry about doing French knots or anything like that. I need to get a different hoop for that. So I'll probably do them last. But I figured that we can get all the fancy stuff onto stop fighting you two. Get the fancy stuff onto the let me just see if I can. No, they just took off. Sorry. Yeah, they just took off. So they've got the zoomies this morning, little dickens that they are. So we'll come down a bit closer, and I'm going to get the hoop out in just a second. And as I said, we're going to put some fancy stuff on there. So let me just grab the hoop. All right, I just had to grab a stool as well because I've had to put, I normally have my coffee on a stool, and I've got a little trolley that I have in this room that I sit the container on. So, but with these little kittens doing the zoomy thing right now, that's not a safe option. So I'll just grab everything out that I need. Now that we've got all the bits and pieces on, I've got all this felt left as well. So I'm going to I've still got to put some stuff onto the birds, so some white and all that sort of stuff. But I've got all this leftover stuff, so I'm definitely going to have enough to do all the little bits and pieces for the bottom garden, which is I'll show you this again, but is this part here. So hopefully, I should have enough for all of that. So we need that. Need a few things today. And I've also got all these scraps as well, which I can use. So I can get little circles and stuff out of that. So I just saved everything. And that's probably the key thing there is I saved everything that was left over. I haven't saved all my bits and pieces that I used for the freezer paper as well. So that makes it super easy to recycle that, because you can get quite a number of uses out of that. I don't need the black right now. That is for the eyes. So I've got my hoop. No, maybe that's a bit too big. I don't know. Oh, I won't have to move it if it's that big, right? So yeah, we might put that in anyway. Gosh, you think I'd have enough room out here, but no, apparently I do not. So how is everybody today? I've lost my mouse as well. Let me find that. All right, let's have a look. I'm in the wrong thing here. Let's have a look and see what's going on. Shannon's here today. Good afternoon, Shannon, to you. It's good morning for me on Saturday morning. It's Friday for you. Let me just put that up there and get rid of this now because I've got all the bits and pieces out. Ugh. No, you can't see what I'm doing, but my chair is in the wrong spot. And it is not an easy chair to move because it's quite a heavy one. All right, we have all our bits and pieces. I think this is all I need. Was it in here? No, it's in here. I don't need that one. That's the instructions. It's in here I need. So this has all of our bits and pieces on the stitches that we're going to be doing on our little... So on the lower garden, we're going to be doing these stitches here. So the kittens are just going off the dial this morning. So they are the stitches that we're going to be doing. On the smaller ones, we're going to be doing a long and short stitch, and do some crosses, and we're going to do some fly stitch without a tail on that. So yeah, so that's just going to fancy it up a little bit. And so I'll get this in the hoop and make sure, let me just get rid of that and get over here and let everybody know that we are streaming for a little while. I've got a very busy day today. I'm streaming here for an hour and a little bit. Then I've got to duck over to someone else's platform and onto their channel and do some reading of some mutt, and then it is Patreon sprints a little bit later. So yeah, it's all happening. It's all happening here. Chasing my tail a bit, but you know, hey, it is what it is, right? Let me just put that there. All right, I've done all that. I'm going to close these down and then get back here, and then I can get rid of this mouse off the table then. And that's so. Let me just, I will just put the comments. Should I comment? Make them big and make them wide. No, we'll make them tall. There we go. All right, that gets rid of the mouse, and I'll be able to see the comments because my phone is in the way otherwise. All right, so as I said, we're going to do the bottom garden. So I'm probably going to start with this bit here. I would have liked to have got this wrapped, but I did not do that. And when I say wrapped, that is basically a wrap ribbon or something around the hoop, and it just makes it extra grippy, these bamboo hoops. And it's been a hot minute since I've done hooping in hand, so this will be interesting. All right, so let me tighten that up. And give that a bit of a stretch. Okay. I will have to move it more often than not. So, but as we get up into the tree and that, I can just do section by section. So pretty much this is what we're going to be doing. So you can see that it's like a drum. Not too taut, but taut enough to make it easy to do stuff. As we go up the tree, there'll be a lot more to embroider and put the fancy stitches on. So we're just going to start down the bottom for today. Hello to Susan. Welcome on in. How are you today, darling? Nice to see you here. It's been a hot minute. All right, so the little ones have the long and okay, so that's easy. And then we can just mix this up. So what I might do is do fly stitch, the cross stitch, then the little ones have this on it, and then we'll go back to fly stitch and work our way through. I think that that's probably the best option. What do you reckon? I reckon so. That sounds like a good plan. That to me. Hopefully you've got your coffee as well. My phone's going off this morning. Okay, cool. Okay. Eggs, cheese, washing stuff. Yep. I've just got Brendan doing some errands for me. Please excuse me why I just replied to this because he's out and about and he's grabbing me some groceries. That's fantastic. Thank you. sure you don't need to know what I'm typing, right? And yes, that's what I need. I need fizzy water. Gas for the soda stream. Please. All right. Okay. All right. I sent him a voice message before I was walking around getting ready, and I'm just like, and we don't normally do voice messages to each other because he doesn't use that sort of thing. So, yeah. All right. So, look at this. See, this is where I'm naughty. See, everybody thinks I've got my stuff together. This is where I'm naughty. Last week, I just closed it up and walked away from it. Naughty. This is not what you should do, okay? You should sort your stuff out. But anyway, we'll just move some stuff out of the way, shall we? All right. So now what we need to do is make sure that we've got contrasting things happening on here. So I will probably, so on the pink one, we'll put some yellow. On the light blue one, we put light blue or like a purplish blue on there, and so forth and so on. So we're going to make them very bold, stand out. You can see the up in the top corner here, you can see the yellow standing out. Now, I only used one thread for this. I think I am going to double it up because over here on this one, I used a double thread and I like the look of that better. So over here, I was experimenting. I don't like the single thread. It's fine, but I don't like the single thread. I think that the double thread will look a little bit better and make it a little bit more whimsy and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to look for, like I've got all my colors here. So let me just pop this open. So we've got like reds and light greens and all that sort of stuff happening. But I think what I'll do is do the purple, the light purple on here. I think that that's going to work better, and we'll get some of these threads a little bit sorted and get them back into the container. I've got different types of green. You could probably put green on here as well with the purple, you know, like Halloween colors, or you could go a bit of orange or something along those lines. I've got reds in here. I've got like pinks, but basically what you want to do with anything like this that has that whimsy to it, you want to make sure that it stands out. And I think I'm going to, these are all on paper ones. I think I'm going to actually rebobinate these into onto plastic ones because I think that they'll just be a bit better. But I think the purple looks okay. That light blue, I could probably make a dark blue on that, but I think I want it to stand out mostly. So we're just going to do all of that. I've also got some yellow here that I can use on the pink. So let me set that over there. All right, there is my needle, and I have my needle threader as well. And now I can move that out of the way and just balance that there. All right. Oh, it is warm already today. 68 Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is. My computer weather thing, I changed to Fahrenheit because when I'm over on BookTube, a lot of my audience is actually American. So, yeah. All right. It's looking good, though. I'm pretty happy with it, how it's come up. I'm just separating my thread here. All right. I do not know what those kitties are playing with, but it's something plastic. Oh, no, it looks like they've got some baubles or something. I pulled the Christmas stuff out to put that up, but I think in this year I'm not going to have a Christmas tree. These kitties are adorable, but they are zoomy kitty cats. The first time I've had, well, they're feeding off one another, basically. One's super shy, and that's Speckles, or Speck for short. And then the other one is Houdini, because it doesn't matter what room you put Houdini in, Houdini can get out, hence the name. So yeah, fun times. All right, so we're going to do fly stitch without a tail. Okay, and that's pretty easy. That's just a zigzag essentially. So we're going to go right to the edge, and we'll start underneath, and we're just going to come down. We're not going to go all the way down, so it's going to come down about halfway. Okay, and we are going to go down, and then we're going to come next to it, not in the same hole. You're going to come right next to it, and I should get my magnifiers on because these glasses are not the best. I've got to go and get new glasses. They're not the best for stitching. And I think that last time I went there, they didn't make them super strong. And I'm like, but I need them for stitching. So magnifiers it is. I mean, at the end of the day, they still work for reading and whatnot. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do a zigzag all the way around. And then what will happen is just here at the end, I'll show you what will happen. We're going to put some French knots. So at the tip of that. So we are just going to basically do that. So let me just come across, and we're just going to zigzag all the way around. And you want to get it as even as possible. And at the end of the day, you can make it however you want. It can be as whimsy as you want. You can have them big, short, and all the things. So it's just basically getting some stitching done and getting those stitches in. And you want to come right up to the edge, but not off the edge, okay? And yeah, we're just going to come around. And basically what I'm doing, so when I said the first two, you come down close to each other to get it. So then you do your third one, and then you come across. Once you've done your third one, you go down and then come up, and that'll just lock it in. So now, because I just came in up the top, went down into it, going to go across along that edge, and we're going to go down into that. Okay, and then when I come across, I'm going to move across about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a bit more along the bottom, and then I can go in up the top here, and I'm going to do that all the way along. So it's about 1/4 of an inch that I come across. And so how do I line it up? I want it on a rough 45-degree angle. So I'll come across and I'll eyeball that. Oh yeah, that looks like a 45-degree angle. I can come in. Now, if it's a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, that's okay. Remember, we're doing the whimsy. And then along the bottom, we do the same thing again. We go across about 1/4 of an inch, and then we make sure that it's going to come up on a 45-degree. So you can see there that I'm getting those little triangles. Okay, I could probably go down a little bit further with this next one, because when I come up, from the bottom, I can go a little bit further down. So I want it to be a little bit of a bigger triangle. So I'll just come down a fraction, maybe, a couple of millimeters, and that's just going to give me a bigger triangle, right? It's going to give me a deeper triangle. Again, we're going for whimsy, okay? And we want to go down about halfway of this flower, approximately, okay? Oh, if I can just get 1/4 of an inch, we'll be fine. Oh, dear me. And basically, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to do these stitch all the way around. And you can turn your hoop as you go as well. Like, make it as comfortable as possible. I will get the edge of this. That's probably the worst thing, trying to line it up. And you can see the double thread actually looks a bit better. It's a little bit bolder, all that sort of stuff. Now, don't forget, we are going to be filling in. We're going to have French knots down in here, colonial knots. We're also going to have some stuff on the center as well. Now, this one actually has a little bit of short stitching, and then it's got a lazy daisy in the center, and then it's got a couple of French knots as well. So there's going to be a lot on each one. So just be aware of that. Like, it might look a little bland right now, but it will get better and start to fill in. So this is going to be a bit of a longish project for us to do that. So, but once you get into the swing of things, it does go pretty quickly. As you can see, I'm starting to get a little bit of speed up now with it. So I'll probably do dark purple in here just to mix it up a little bit. Oops, that one was a bit short, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. We're not going to worry about it. Just going to keep moving on, because overall it is not going. You're not going to be able to see it. So what has everybody been up to this week? What are you working on? I see that Shannon's doing a little bit of diamond painting, which is absolutely fantastic. Sometimes we do diamond painting on a Saturday, but I want to get this finished. I want to get it ready, because next year, when I get back from the UK, we're pretty much going to be doing a little bit of renovation in here, and I want to get some of my wall hangings finished with any luck, and this is one of them. I've got a massive one that I've got a perfect wall for it to go on in the lounge room, and that's the big round the garden one. So I'm going to try and get that is going to take me a long time to do. Okay, that one is going to be hectic. So yeah. Oh, I needed that coffee, I tell you. All right. Who else has popped in? Christina's popped in. Hello. Welcome on in. Other than diamond painting, Shannon is preparing for finals week. Oh, hectic week. That for you today. This coming week. But then you get a nice little break, which is not too shabby. It's going to look cute once it's done. Like, I'm excited to have these done. They're the biggest. This is like probably, well, this is the first time I've done wool felt applique. I've done applique before in the past, but just not wool felt. So this is the first time I've done this sort of thing. And I'm really liking it. I think it's fantastic. What do you think? The purple looks good, I think. All right, I'm going to change the thread. Scissors. As I said, it's very whimsical. It's supposed to be not even, not perfect. That's the whole point of it. I know that a lot of people out there will be freaking out because it's not it's not perfect and all that sort of stuff. But the whole point of this project is for it to look whimsical. It's not supposed to look absolutely perfect like it's been made by a machine. Christina says, finishing up decorating and making some things to go in my Christmas cards for this year. Nice. All right, how do I just... There it is. I'm like, oh no, I've lost it. I've lost it already. Can't believe that Christmas is just around the corner. Like, it's only a couple of weeks away. It doesn't even feel like Christmas yet, right? I suppose for you guys it does because it's snowing and all that sort of stuff. For me, not so much. I am looking forward to. I've never seen snow, so I am actually really looking forward to seeing snow. And throwing a snowball at my daughter's head. Don't worry, I feel like you'll get to see it too. So yeah. So yeah, Brennan just we were just working on getting the last little bits of my UK money together, and he just said to me, "Then he goes, UK money is done." So yeah, we're all good. We're on schedule. So yeah, well, that wasn't far enough down, really, was it? I might just make that a little bit lower. I mean, I can add extra bits in, I guess, right? Throat's a bit croaky this morning. I don't know why. This is what we're going to take. I mean, I don't really work on this other than on a Saturday, so this is going to take a little while. But I might get some more stitches in it today while I'm reading. I've got an audio book today, but I do have to do some cleaning, so that also, and washing and all the things. I did do a little bit of housework last night, but not as much as I would have liked to have got done. I was just really tired yesterday. Sometimes you get like that, where you get super tired and you just couldn't be bothered. That was me yesterday. But I got I got the floors swept and cleaned surfaces of the bathroom and all that sort of stuff. So it wasn't a total schmozzle. I put a load of washing on, and I've just got to do the kitchen today because I've pretty much done my housework all week. I pretty much got to do the kitchen, finish off the washing. What else am I going to do? Oh, the foyer, and tidy up the library. Oh, and I've got to put my. I was looking for something the other day, and I pulled out cabinets and all that sort of stuff out in the sewing room. So I've got to put all of them back together today, back where they belong, and just vacuum the floor and stuff out there. So yeah, but I haven't done much craft out in the craft room. It's just I've moved everything because Lockie wanted to do diamond painting, so I pulled all my diamond paintings out. So I've got to put them back. I've got to get some stuff ready to mail out next week. And I've got to put my floss back in place. So I've got DMC floss out in the a big tower of DMC floss, and I've also got I'll never have to buy floss again, and except to replace what I've used. And I have Cosmo thread out there as well, which I use for my fancy work. And I want to sort of get back into doing a little bit of fancy work and, doing a few embroideries and stuff like that. And basically that was not a triangle, but you know what? I will pull that out because that looks like a line. I basically find pictures that I really like in colouring in books and stuff like that, and just line drawings and stuff. And I just turn them into embroideries and fancy works. But next year, I was thinking that I want to get a hoop and just do all different stitches in it. So like a sampler. Because I've not done that before. So I think that would be good. I also have to get a little cross-stitch project ready to take away with me on the plane. So I've got something to do with my hands, and I'm thinking that I might even take a little crochet project with me. I've got a scarf that I'm part the way through that I could probably do. I don't want to take any knitting or anything because that's sort of relearning stuff and whatnot. So, but yeah, I think if I take it like a little, if I take a little cross stitch project, just like a little small kit, I should be right. Just squeeze that one in, didn't I? Didn't think that one through. Anyway, we've got around to the end. That's all that matters. All right. So at the tip of each one of those, we're going to do a French knot. So let me just see if I can do this with the hoop. Probably not. I've got another hoop that I do it with. Let me just. Yeah, I think I'll just use the other hoop, but you can see that's what it's going to look like. Okay, we'll have little French knots, and we're going to do them under each point of that triangle. So you can see how that's going to fill that in. But right now I'm not going to do it because that is not easy in hand. So I'll just finish that off. Can you hear the kittens in the background? Right, but it's going to look nice with the little dots. But I think what I might do is just do them in the light purple, the same color, because I think that's going to really bring it out. So now what we want is the dark purple. So let me just have a look. We had a dusting of snow, says Shannon. I'll go that one. So with this one, it's just going to be this is going to be long and short stitches on this. No, it's actually just short stitches. And then we've got what looks like a lazy daisy in the center of this. Now what are you getting into? Oh my goodness. Houdini gets into everything. Mischief maker. Mischief maker, that one for sure. All right, so now what we're going to do is short stitches all the way about 1/4 of an inch down. And as I said, I'm just eyeballing it. And that's just going to be all the way around. I mean, if you want to be exact with your measurements, I guess you could mark it out. But as I said, I just like the whimsy of it. So yeah, I got a lot of housework and stuff to do today, but I am enjoying doing these weekly videos with you guys that are a live stream. I do have a couple of diamond painting videos that are coming out that I have filmed. I've just got to get them edited. And I have not started my little library yet, but I'm planning on doing that over the next week or so, getting that started. I know what glue I'm using now and all that sort of stuff. So, and I found a pair of really good fine tweezers to use if I need them. So yeah, looking forward to getting some of that done. I think once you start, it won't take very long to do. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That's for sure. It's going to look cute. I got a lot of filming to do for the BookTube channel as well, so that's always time consuming. And of course, this is my quiet time. I don't take quilts in over Christmas. I'm usually finished up. Everyone's got their Christmas quilts and stuff done now, so that's all sorted. So yeah, so that's sort of where I'm at. So it's just doing stuff for myself now. And I've got to set up and make sure that I've got everything in place for Red Dragon, and I've also got a big diamond painting that I need to set up as well. So I've got to kit that up because I'm going to be starting that in the new year. And it's a Heaven and Earth design. So if you're a cross stitcher, you'll know what Heaven and Earth is. So yeah. All right. So now let me just have a look at this. Okay, so there's a Lazy Daisy, and then there's so we do Lazy Daisy petals. So that's basically where we come back down in. So come back down in, and then you're creating a petal, okay? So you can see there that I've gone up and gone in, and now I've got this loop. So depending how big you want your petal to be will depict where you come up. So I want it to be a decent size petal. So you can see that I've just come up, and then that little loop will hook around that, and then that's on the inside, and then to secure it, we go down on the outside of the loop, not hoop. And then we just pull that down and give it a little bit of a tug, and there we have a little petal. Okay. And then we want, this looks like it's got 5, 6 of them, so we'll come up again in the center, and we'll go back down in the center, and then we're going to pull that tight a little bit until we've got that loop, and then wherever we want that petal to go, that's where we want to come up and in the inside of that loop. Okay, and then we give it a little bit of a tug, and then on the outside of it, okay, so not in the center of the loop, on the outside where we want it to secure, we add that little stitch there, and that secures it. So you can see there that we're starting to get a couple of petals. So come up again, and we'll go back down in that section. Pull it tight, and then we'll come up where we want that petal to secure, and we'll give it a little bit of a tug, and then we go down on the outside. Okay, and so we've got 3. So you can see there we've got 3 petals, and we're going to continue doing that around until we've got a circle. So again, come up in the center. You don't have to come up in the same spot as you've gone down previously, because that can get a little bit bulky. So you just want to get it as close to the center as possible, and then we come up where we want that petal to be. Hey, stop fighting, you two. And then we come down on the outside of it. And you can see our little flower is starting to come together. Again, coming up in the center, if I can get the center. And again, we want to go back down that spot. And we'll create that little loop. And then where we want that loop to end, we come up in the center of it. And it doesn't matter if they're even or they're a little bit uneven. It's, again, we're doing whimsy, okay? We want it to look like it's handmade, so you can see there. And then our last one, when you come up, and probably did that one a little bit too tight, but we can fluff that out a bit. And same as that one, we can fluff that out a bit. Okay, we go down, and then we come up. Oop, pulled that too tight. So, yeah. We come up. And I'm just going to go through the center of that because I pulled it a bit tight and it twisted. There we go. And then we go back down again where we want it to secure. And there we have it, a little flower in the center. Okay, so that's how you do a lazy day. They call them lazy daisy stitches. So we want to tug that down, make sure we've got all our bits in and secured. And of course, then I'll put some yellow in there, like I'll put a couple of little French knots in there. Okay, and then that will distinguish the center. So let me flip that over. I'm just going to tie this one because it is a good shot. So if I find, and I know that the embroidery police out there are going to be clutching their pearls right now. So sometimes you might have a little short thing and your needle won't go through and you can't finish it off. Basically, on something like this is just, you're not going to see the knot. So I just do 2 little secured knots, just 2 little granny knots. And then it just makes a tiny little one. You're not going to see it. You're not going to feel it. You're underneath wool felt, and then I'll just trim it off close to the edge. Okay, and then it's secured. But yeah, all right. So there we go. There's our first flower done. Look at that. And we've got our little lazy daisy in the centre. I'm pretty sure all of them have. Some of them got a swirl. Some of them have a lazy daisy, but I don't like the swirl, so I'm probably going to do lazy daisies in all of the centres of them because I just think it looks cute, right? And then I'll put a little bit of orange or a little bit of yellow, depending on the one. Like over here, I might put a green in the centre or something along those lines. So I'm just going to mix it up and make it nice and bright. Now, of course, we've still got to have little dots that are little dots that you can see where I've done that French knot. I've got a hoop that it stands up so my hands are free underneath because you sort of need 2 hands. So French knots are really good to do, are hard to show on camera, but I do have a stand that is probably about this big and I'll be able to do all the French knots that I'm doing because all of these down here will have French knots. So next week when I come on, we'll definitely be doing French knots. So I'm going to try and get a lot of the embroidery done and then we can just have a lesson where we do it. And like while this is not a tutorial, I will talk you through what I'm doing and whatnot. So this is going to have some more purple and then we're going to put some French knots in the center here, just a little bit of yellow just to make it a bit bright. What's wrong? Oh, do you want to get up? I know, but I'm busy. She's like at me and then she like gets up on her back legs to touch my hand. Houdini is infatuated with me. Basically, no matter where I am, that little kitty is following me around. All right, so this next one is going to be cross, like little crosses, like we've done on this one here. So it's just going to be little crosses. So let me just grab thread out. And another one. So just to separate your threads, if you don't know how to do that, you just, like I generally run it through my hand to make sure it's straight. And then I just tap the end and then I just hold them gently and start pulling. And essentially you can see now that the 2 threads are now separated. So like here. And then you can just put them together. And I generally just lay them on top of each other and do a little knot. And there we go. Our thread's ready to go. So I can sit that across there, and that's done. Again. And to do the knot, I just wrap it around, and so it's crossed over like that, and then I just roll it off and bring it down, and it'll just have a little knot in the end of it. And then you're ready to go. And it's not a big bulky knot either. So if you pull too hard, it'll just go straight through your fabric. It's just there to secure. Okay. And if you're struggling to thread your needle or whatever, if you cut your floss on a 45-degree angle, you can thread it without a needle threader. But I highly recommend these. So yeah. Yeah, somehow I don't think Shannon wants any more snow. All right. So as I said, on this blue one, we're just going to do long stitches. So I'm just going to come in and go down. Now these also have French knots at the end, so I want to make sure that I've got enough room. So I'm just going to do all the long stitches, and then I will do the making them into little crosses. So yeah. So you want to come down a fair way with this one, because we've got to have room to do the little cross section of it. Okay, but again, we have French knots that are going to go close to this centerpiece, so these don't have to go all the way down. As you can see, this one's a little bit quicker to get done. And you want your colours to be contrasting, okay? So you can actually see your fancy work. If you've got them contrasting, it makes it just more bold. It stands out, and overall, it's going to look fantastic. Okay, so while something might not have gone to plan on this little one, you know, overall, no one's going to notice because there is so much happening on this. Okay. So cute. I can't wait to have this done. Definitely going to be a wall hanging with these two kitty cats, that's for sure. A little bit boisterous, these ones. They're only little too, like they'd be lucky to be 5 weeks old. But they're rescues. So they were on a farm and basically feral. So the farmer was going to dispose of them and narrowly rescued them. So yeah, the little white one has gone over to Brendan's that we had here the other day, and I said, "Oh, how's the kitty settling in?" He sent me a picture. The kitty was on his bed in the morning, all sleepy, and yeah, she has made friends with Minnie, who is the black cat that's over there, and apparently she's been running around just having a great time. Plenty of stuff for her to get into over there. Yeah, she didn't run off or anything like that. We left her in the little cat carrier for a couple of, probably about half an hour to 45 minutes, and then we let her out and gave her some food. And yeah, they sort of sniffed each other, and that was that. Done and dusted. She was running around and exploring and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah. All right. So now what we're going to do is little crosses. So this is you come about halfway up, and we just put a little cross over there. So it makes little crosses. Yeah. A little tail got caught up. Winston across the road's going off. There's a little sausage dog across the road. His name's Winston. And he thinks he's 15 foot tall. He's a funny little character. Anybody walks past, he gets all aggressive and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. Good morning, Chrissy. Happy Saturday. It's dance and photo. But dance photo, dress rehearsal weekend. So I watched the replay. Oh, fun. I do not miss that. That is a hectic weekend on that. But, yeah, it should be good. When's the concert? Let me know in the comments when you get back when the concert is. Can't wait to see the photos. She's very cute with her dancing. Such a full-on weekend, right? Like, it's so full-on. Shannon says hi and enjoy your rehearsal, Chrissy. This one definitely has gone a lot quicker. So you can see some of them take a little bit longer, others are a little bit quicker. My goodness, did you just bite the cat, other cat, Denny? Like, it seems like it's chew toy. Oh, what's going on here? There we go. A little bit of fluff there. Ooh, we're just going to have just enough. Time. I've got to keep an eye on the time on that because I've got to be at Vanessa's at 9 o'clock. So, all right, that's the crosses done. So you can see that some of them, as I said, some of them take a little bit longer than others, but for the most part, it's pretty quick. It's pretty easy. So there we go. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a light blue. I think we might use this powder blue. What do you reckon? For the center of that. Either that, maybe this one. I think the powder blue. I don't know. Because this is quite bold. This, I think, will sort of blend. Like, it'll be there, but it might blend in a little bit. I think I might go the powder blue, to be honest. I mean, worst case scenario is I'll pull it out, right? Hello, Chris. How are you? Welcome on in. All right. All right, let me separate this. What are you doing, Speckles? You're getting a little bit more happy about being out and about, aren't you? Speckles has been really shy. Like, this is probably the last 2 days is probably the most that I've seen Speckles out playing. She's always hiding. But she seems to have really come into her own after the white cat went. So I'm guessing the white cat might have been a bit bullyish because it was actually an older cat from a different litter. So, yeah. And to be honest, I think the white cat is actually a boy, not a girl. That I didn't check before I took it over, but I'm pretty sure it is. All right, let's do our lazy daisy in the center. So again, we come up and we go down right next to it. So we create a loop. Okay, and we just hold our finger on there. I'm going to make this one, the petals on this a little bit bigger. So I'm going to come up where I want the petal to end. Okay, so I've come up and I'm inside that loop. And we just give it a little gentle pull, okay, to get it to form its petal. Okay, and then we go on the outside, really close to the petal of that loop, and then we secure it down. Okay. It's a bit messy, that one. Hey, stop her fighting. Okay. Then we come up. We go down. We create our petal. Yeah, I'm going to put the Christmas stuff away, I think, because they've just decided to get into it. I'm going to start that. Oh, there we go. That's better. What's wrong? My lazy daisies are not perfect, not by a long shot, but when you do projects like this where you're doing quite a number of them, they will get better. The kids are jumping around underneath the table. Right. Guys. All right. There we go. There's our last petal done. And we now have a very wonky lazy daisy. That's probably the wonkiest one I've ever seen. But yeah, I like the light blue on that. That looks good. I like that. So now I am going to just do the there's just a little bits and pieces that go around the edge. There's just a little tiny ones on this one, not as long. So yeah. So we're just going to go around and fill that area in. And yeah, and then we're going to call it a day because I've got to skedaddle over to another channel, which is Vanessa's for Smartella. No, Smartella. That was a different one. So yeah. So as you can see, it's pretty quick. And I think the brighter colour is standing out a lot more than that other colour would have been. I think it would have blended in too much with this one. So you just have to remember, if you do this, make sure that you do them at contrasting. The original piece was also very contrasting as well. Like, bring it up so you can see. So you can definitely see like there's brighter colours on them, so they're definitely, you want them to stand out. So I've got a lot of these flowers to do, but they don't take long. It obviously takes a bit longer when I'm talking my way through it, but it is a lot quicker when it's just, I'm just getting done with it. I'm not talking about what floss I'm doing the steps a little bit slower and all that sort of stuff. So now, some of these flowers, as I said, they have swirls in them, but I'm not going to do the swirls. I just don't like the look of it. So I'm just going to do the lazy daisies in them and then put a couple of French knots in with yellow in all of them because they'll stand out. And what? What's wrong, Speckles? What's wrong? Oh, you're such a cutie. All right, so we got 2 flowers done together today, which is good. And if it's like, I figured that like with this as well, like if it's a little bit sparse in the centerpiece, like if it needs a bit more, I can always just add some French knots in to fill it up, right? So that's not going to be a problem. Like I could put a French knot in between all the petals if I wanted to before I lose my thread. Just let it slip. I have to end this thread because that is not going to go any further. All right, let me pop that over there. I'm probably going to do a little bit more today while I'm reading and see how far I get. I might try and get all these flowers done today, so when we come back next week, we're on a different part. But that stands out. That looks really good. It's added a bit more to it. I will get that frame out, and then that way we can do a little bit of French knots and everything next time as well. But as I said, I think I might end up waiting until I've done all the flowers and all the other stitching, and then just smash out French knots, because it's not easy to do them, but it'll fill in this space as well. It'll look really good. Like I've done it on this one over here, and you can see it. Like I've still got to do stuff around the outside as well. So you can see it looks good once it's done. Like they're a little bit wonky and all the rest of it. I mean, I'm not the best embroiderer, but you know, as I said, this is very whimsical, as you can see. Like we've got all the leaves and everything to do. So all these leaves over here are done. I think there's 2, 3, 4 more, 5 more to do over this side, and then they're done. And I'm just going to work my way through. So as I move the hoop, obviously there'll be more to do. So I've still got a lot of leaves over here to do. Some of these leaves were done in hand, which I do not recommend to anybody. And then, of course, I've got the birds to do as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 birds to do, and then the peacock as well, which is down here. Oi, what are you doing? Don't be climbing that shelf. Don't be climbing that shelf. That shelf will fall down. There we go. We have a little kitty. We have a little kitty. Little kitty. You need to get down. Off you go. Climbing the big shelf. All right, that is it from me today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. And hey, Molly, Molly Dot, welcome on in. We're just finishing up, but I am heading over to Smutmas over on Vanessa's channel, Read with Dr. B, and we're going to be reading a book called Santa's Dark Secret and Chestnuts are the books that we're reading today. So we're going to get stuck into those, but I'm going to keep working on this during the day while I'm reading, because it's an audiobook that I have today. So I can get some stitching done. So hopefully I get a fair bit done. We've still got a long way to go on this. We've still got the little garden down the bottom and everything to do. So I'm doing all these big things at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just making sure I had all the ones on there. But we've still got all this little bit here that's got a lot of embroidery to do. So we will get onto that. But as I said, that is it from me today, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate you hanging out with me and having a cuppa. And there's the reminder from Christina. Remember to hydrate and check the laundry, do all the things. And of course, I will see you all over on Vanessa's, and I will see some of you on Patreon screens a little bit later on the BookTube side of things. But thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. And of course, I'll be back next Saturday to put some more stitches in. So make sure that you join me then, and I will see you all somewhere on the internet. Bye, everyone.